Hey folks, welcome to video number 3 in this article marketing series, and in this one I'm going to show you exactly how you put your article up online, how you write it, and also how you get your link back to your website, okay, which obviously is the reason that we're doing this, other than to share information, just because it's a good thing to do for your business, to show your value, as we mentioned right at the very start. It's also a very good thing to do for the links, and of course that's one of the main reasons we're doing it, so I will show you how to do that. This is easyinarticles.com, and Easyinarticles is probably one of the most well-known of the article directories that are out there. There's a ton of article directories available altogether, but some of the most well-known ones are places like Easyinarticles, Go Articles is another one, and what I'll do is I'll list a few of them underneath this video so that you can go and check those out yourself and sign up to those. I will also show you a tool where you can submit to hundreds potentially of article directories rather, at the end of the fourth video. So that's that. So this is Easyinarticles. You'll need to come to the top right hand corner up here where it says my name right now. What you'll need to do is up there it will say register or log in. And you need to obviously register for an account. It might be sign up, but you get the idea. There'll be a little button there that you can sign up or register with, and go through the page. And it's very simple, the sign up process. You just fill out the form, and at the bottom of the page, I think you agree to terms and conditions. Then you just click register, and that's it. It's very simple. So go check that out. I'm not going to do that live on the screen because you guys are intelligent people. You can all do that. So that's that. Let's go to the Easyinarticles authors area, which looks very much like this. This is mine, as you can see. There's me and my lovely face there on the bottom left of the screen, and you can see also I've got a few author names just here. Some of them are names, some of them are mine or variations on my name, and some of them are clients of mine or pseudonyms that I use for writing articles, and that's perfectly cool. You can do that without it being a problem. That's that. You can see here these are the articles that are live right now. You can see I've got a few changes that are pending on some of my articles right now because I changed some of the links in them because I wanted to make them all point towards my internet marketing blog. Other ones here you can see are also there that are live, and this one here is pending that I've just written recently. This is the 10 reasons why creating a podcast will increase your internet marketing business. Keywords on that being internet marketing podcast and internet marketing business. So there you can kind of see how this little plan I'm putting together for you is starting to work. Down here on the left you can see your account statistics, the number of article views, your click rate, which 6%, that's pretty good going, the number of live articles, the number of pending articles. I've actually got quite a lot more that I've written that I haven't actually uploaded to this yet, and I've also got some that I've uploaded to other directories and other places, which again I'll talk to you about a bit later. And yeah, so that's that. This is your control panel, your control center. Right here we need to go into Article Manager and go to Submit a New Article. Now under here we can see the author name that you can put in and the co-author. Then you can choose your category right here. These are the recently selected categories that I've written on, and just down here you can see you select the category from that list that we saw on the front page just there, and then you get to subcategorize it as well. The article title, now I've obviously talked to you about this earlier on, the article title needs to be, as I mentioned, quite snappy, quite to the point and intriguing to people, so that's where that goes in that box just there. You've got 100 characters to fill there. When I say to fill, you don't have to fill 100 characters, it can be a relatively short title, but as long as it does the job that I mentioned to you in the first video. And if you want to go back and check over that and that little checklist that I gave you, then please do. The abstract or the article summary or teaser copy as it's known would go right into here. And 2 to 5 sentences, no paragraphs. You can see, by the way, that Easyinarticles is quite user-friendly in the sense that it does give you this sort of information as to how it wants it formatted, so it's quite specific. And again, that should be an expansion on the title whereby you sort of tease them into reading the rest of the article by hinting at a solution to potentially a problem, or that kind of thing. Again, I talked about that in the first video, so go back and have a look at that if you want a refresher. The main body of the article goes here, and you can basically use this little thing here called WYSIWYG. WYSIWYG stands for what you see is what you get. You can see it written there, WYSIWYG. So you can turn the WYSIWYG on and off. I'd leave it on for the time being, but you can also see here, if you're familiar at all with programming, you can use those tags if you're familiar with code that's used for websites. If you're not, don't worry about it. You don't have to be, because these buttons will do the jobs that you need for you. So you write your article there. I would suggest that in your article you break it up relatively into relatively small chunks, so don't get people reading paragraphs or sentences for that matter that go on for ages and ages. A paragraph, I would suggest, needs to be no more than 3 sentences long, and then go to the next paragraph, purely because it makes it nice and simple to read. and if you're making it difficult for people to read, they won't read. It's quite simple. The internet is such an instant phenomenon in the sense of you can get information straight away, that they don't need to work for it. They can just go somewhere else and find it. So you need to make it as simple and as straightforward as possible for them to read your article. So right here, again, if you're a programmer or a coder, you can use the source code just here, but I would suggest that you keep the WYSIWYG on just for the sake of ease. And this works in exactly the same way as things like Microsoft Word and other word processors do. A very simple process. You can make it bold or italic or underlined just there, bullet points just here, quote marks just there, and you can add links just here. Now, the links, I would suggest you don't actually add any promotional links into the main body of the text, and the reason for that is that the article should be really just giving as much good information as possible. It should all be about the information, and it should all be about the reader. No self-promotion in the actual body of the article. You've got a space at the end which is called the resource box, which I'm going to talk about in a second, that's your space for promoting yourself until you're blue in the face if you really want to. But I would suggest that you don't put any promotional or self-promotional or even necessarily self-referential things into the actual article body itself. You can say, I've done this and it's worked. If it's a solution to a problem, that's fine. That's a self-reference that works, but nothing that kind of bigs you up in any way. Nothing that makes you look or sound amazing or like you're blowing your own trumpet. You can do that, as I say, in the resource box at the end. And to be honest, the article body should prove how brilliant you are and how much you know, because you've demonstrated some real value, hopefully, if you followed what I've said to you earlier on. So that's where your article body goes in there. I hope that's all relatively clear and straightforward. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Down here, you've got... I'm just going to change this, actually. So down here, these are where your keywords are going to go. And the keywords, you're going to separate with a comma in this format just here. By the way, you've got up to 5,000 words to write your main body of your article. Please don't use 5,000 words. No one is ever going to read it. 350, 400 words, I would say, is the maximum people are going to go for. The cool thing about Easy Articles is people can republish your articles on their site using the Easy Article publisher or republisher. So they can actually use a little function which allows them to republish your article on their site. And of course, that leads to more traffic for you because they have to keep the links that are at the bottom of the article in the resource box. They have to keep those as one of the terms and conditions of republishing the article. So that's a really good thing for you as well. So you could get a lot of traffic, a lot more traffic than you would expect. That's how I've got over 1,000 views on relatively few articles, is that people have taken them and they've put them on their sites. But of course, they've had to keep the links there. So I've had traffic from other people's websites as well who I've never even met, which is, again, quite exciting. So this is where the keywords go, and the keywords again will be the ones that you looked at in the last video. Hopefully you've got a list now of I'd say probably 5 to 10 keywords, of which you're going to put maybe 3 or 4 into these this little box here. So in the case of the stretch marks one, it was how to get rid of stretch marks. That would be one key phrase. So you put how to get rid of stretch marks, comma, and then your next keyword, comma, your next keyword, comma, or key phrase. So right here, this is the resource box right here. Now, this is the resource box for my internet marketing blog, Adventures in internetmarketing.net. And you can see right here the format of the links. Now, what I'm going to do is underneath this video, I will give you the code that you need, because unfortunately you do need code for this bit. You do need to put a bit of code in, but I will show you exactly how to do it. It's this line just here. That's one link just there, and the other link is this one just here. Okay. But I'm going to show you how to do that underneath this video. So have a look under the video and you'll see the code that you need. Now, what's interesting with this is that I would suggest your resource box needs to follow on from your article. So in many cases, I would, rather than doing a pre-written resource box, which I'll show you where you can put those if you want them, rather than doing a pre-written resource box, I tend to find that it's a good idea to lead on from the article, and so it's almost as if the resource box and the article are one and the same, and it doesn't feel like a big promotion at the end, because if you give them loads and loads of good value, and then suddenly it becomes a massive sales pitch at the end, people are just going to switch off, and they're not going to click on your link. But if it carries on, and it's obvious that the link you're going to provide gives even more information on the subject that you've kind of hinted at or that you've discussed a little bit in the article, for example, if you've done 10 top tips, well, there's going to be more information than just 10 things about any one subject. If it's going to be how to cure stretch marks or how to get rid of stretch marks, for example, I'm sure there's more than one way of doing it, and I'm sure that if you had a site about it, then it would be something that you would want to link back to, with your keywords as well. And that's another thing that's kind of important to remember, is that your links are going to be embedded in keywords. Okay, so in this case right here, you can see where it says the A space href equals http://www.adventuresininternetmarketing.net/ and then the end of that little bit of code, which is that little bracket there, and then the words internet marketing blog, and then it closes off the code. That means that those words there, those 3 words, are going to be highlighted, and they will be links. They'll become links back to your website. Now, the cool thing about that is that Google sees those links, and it sees that those words are being associated with your site. So therefore it makes the connection, and the more of those connections there are, the higher up the rankings you will go for those keywords. So let's say you have 5,000 links from articles that you've written over the course of however long on various different article directories, all with the words internet marketing blog. You're likely to go very high on the first page of Google because you've got lots and lots of those links from good authority websites. Don't just spam blogs, because no one likes that. It just annoys the bloggers and it annoys everyone else, and it doesn't do you any favours. So, and there's lots of article services out there linking services out there that do that. So, try and avoid that if you can. I'm going to show you about linking in the next video, so I'll show you how to do it properly. And this the more of those links you have, the better. So that's where you're going to put those, and that's the resource box. Try and make the resource box, as I say, run on from the article itself. Try and make it more conversational and rather than salesy, but obviously make sure you put your link in there, because the whole point of the article is to have the links there in order to give them something of value which they can then expand upon by visiting your website. Okay, so I hope that's all made sense. Again, the word count doesn't really matter. You can get up to 300 words for your resource box, but again, I suggest you don't really use them unless you really need to, and I don't think you ever do really need to use that many words when you could just use a few that are a bit more powerful. And again, look through Easy Articles, go back here and find your niche and find your sub-niche within here. Say gaming, for example. Okay, let's go for console systems. I'm just choosing this completely at random, but let's say you choose an article right here, and you look through and you see if this person's done the job well. If you're serious about finding the Xbox 360 bundles, that link works very well. Go to this site immediately. Well, that's a little bit salesy and a bit pushy, and also that site looks a little bit odd. holidays.techquizzes.com / loads of big links. That's not great. Okay, so that's an example of one of how not to do it, although the article itself looks like it's been formatted quite well. Just have a look through your niche, whatever your niche is. That's not great either, because that doesn't really give the message very well. It doesn't follow on from the article, and you'll find that most people don't do this. Okay, they don't do the follow on very well. So this is a little tip I'm giving you, which I think will help you a lot, which is to make sure that your resource box follows on. Now, there is a way of kind of getting around the resource box thing a little bit, which is to go up to the menu towards the top, under Author Tools, under Profile Manager, you can click Edit Author Resource Boxes, and you can go in here and you can edit your resource boxes. So you can find the author and then the resource name, and you can add them in here so that they automatically appear. So if you get a premium account, you can get loads of them, but you only need 2 or 3 maximum. If you're only ever writing articles about one thing, like the stretch marks thing, you could have just one resource box just here, and that resource box would be the same for all your articles, because it works, because it's about the same subject, it leads on very well, all of that sort of thing. So you can save yourself some time by doing that. But if you're writing articles about lots of different topics within one subject, then you might want to tailor it a bit more in the way that I've suggested. So I hope that's useful for you. That's a quick tour around Easy Articles. Oh, there's also this video here, by the way, which you might want to check out, how to create the perfect resource box with the Easy Articles team themselves. They will be able to give you some tips there. It's only 4 minutes 35 long as well, so you might want to check that out as well. So I hope that's useful for you. There's loads and loads of tools here that you can see. I'm not going to go into them now because they're just not important in terms of the basic method of writing an article and putting it on Easy Articles. Okay, there's lots of these, author tools just here which you can use, and that's very cool. That's a very good thing to do if you're a bit more advanced, or once you get a bit more into the flow of writing articles. But for the meantime, what I've just shown you there is exactly what you need to do. So I hope that's been useful for you, and I hope you've enjoyed this so far. I hope you've enjoyed the whole series, of course, and the last video is the next one, which is all about getting links back to your articles, which is just kind of the icing on the cake, if you like, the little cherry on top is that, and also going to show you some of the software that you can potentially use as well in order to submit your articles to a lot more places taking almost no time at all, and it's free to do. So I'll show you that in the next video. See you then.